Imagine stepping into a future where your wealth is not built on speculation or short-term noise, but on the structural, almost predictable power of companies that reward you quarter after quarter. Dividend stocks that you can hold forever are not just an investment choice, they are a philosophy. They represent the belief that long-term value creation comes from discipline, consistency, and alignment with businesses that understand the power of shareholder returns. When you look at history, the companies that have outperformed across decades weren't the ones chasing trends. They were the ones sustaining cash flows, reinvesting intelligently, and sharing profits with investors through rising dividends. That is the essence of a blueprint built for 2025 and beyond. What makes dividend stocks so compelling today is not merely the income they generate, but the resilience they bring in an environment defined by technological disruption, demographic shifts, and economic cyclicality. Markets are evolving, entire industries are being transformed, yet through every era, recessions, inflation cycles, boom years, and stagnation, strong dividend payers have demonstrated remarkable stability. Their business models are usually tied to essential products and services, or global demand that persists regardless of market temperament. That stability becomes your financial foundation, your defensive layer, your long-term source of compounding returns. The idea of holding a dividend stock forever isn't about ignoring change. It's about aligning with companies that adapt to change while protecting shareholder value. Companies that have raised their dividends for decades do so because they maintain disciplined management, strong free cash flow, and durable competitive advantages. These aren't companies reacting to the world, they are shaping it. Their dividends aren't gimmicks, they are signals that the business is confident enough in its long-term earnings power to return cash to you consistently. Reinvest those dividends, and you unleash exponential compounding that quietly builds wealth behind the scenes. In 2025, the strategic advantage lies in identifying dividend, paying companies that are not only stable today, but positioned for structural growth in the future. Firms exposed to essential consumption, healthcare advancements, energy infrastructure, data and communication services, and industrial processes, the backbone components of global progress, and to generate reliable earnings. These are the companies that navigate technological shifts by integrating innovation without sacrificing balance sheet strength. Their dividends become not just income, but evidence of long-term vision and operational excellence. Investors often overlook the transformative power of dividend growth. A company that raises its dividend consistently is sending a message. Its cash flows aren't just stable, they are expanding. Over time, dividend growth can outpace inflation, protect your purchasing power, and turn a modest yield into an impressive long-term return. This is why chasing high-yield stocks is less important than identifying sustainable growth. A moderate dividend that rises steadily is far more powerful than a high dividend that eventually collapses under weak fundamentals. What many people underestimate is how dividend stocks change your mindset as an investor. When you hold companies that pay you regardless of market volatility, your relationship with downturns shifts. Instead of fear, you feel opportunity. Lower prices mean higher reinvestment efficiency. Market noise becomes irrelevant because your returns aren't solely tied to price appreciation. They are tied to cash distributions and long-term business strength. This mindset accelerates wealth creation because it aligns you with patience, discipline, and fundamental investing. In building a dividend portfolio for 2025 and beyond, the goal is not quantity, it's quality. A handful of the right companies held for decades can outperform dozens of speculative bets taken over the same time period. These are the stocks you don't trade mindlessly. You accumulate them, you reinvest their dividends, you let time do the heavy lifting, you allow compounding to operate untouched by panic or hype. Because true wealth is not built from reacting, it's built from staying aligned with businesses that thrive through cycles. Dividend stocks to hold forever are not just investments, they are long long-term partnerships with companies capable of creating value across generations. When chosen wisely, they become the silent architects of enduring financial strength. When you think about lifetime income, you're really thinking about aligning yourself with companies that have built their operations to last, not just across market cycles, but across generational shifts. The idea of 4 dividend stocks you should never sell isn't about clinging to the past. It's about identifying businesses that have proven their durability, their adaptability, and their commitment to rewarding shareholders year after year. These companies operate with a level of predictability that becomes increasingly rare in a world driven by rapid digital transformation and constant economic noise. And when you find businesses like that, you don't trade in and out of them. You hold them because the compounding of dependable cash flow becomes one of the most powerful wealth-building engines available to any investor. What distinguishes these companies is the relationship between innovation and stability. They're not the slow, complacent dividend payers of the old economy, far from it. They are companies that understand the importance of reinvestment, operational efficiency, and long-term capital discipline. They don't just pay dividends, they grow them, and that growth is crucial. Because while a dividend today provides stability, a rising dividend provides acceleration. It transforms your income stream from static to dynamic, from reactive to forward-driven. Over decades, it becomes a force that compounds quietly but aggressively in your favor. The companies worth holding forever typically operate in sectors where demand doesn't disappear, sectors that support global consumption, healthcare, infrastructure, energy, and technology, enabling systems. What makes these sectors so compelling is that they are tied not only to present demand, but to future inevitabilities. People will always need essential products. They will always need medical care. They will always need connectivity. And they will always depend on companies that build, transport, and power the world around them. When a business sits at the heart of these long-running demand cycles, its dividend becomes more than a payout. It becomes a reflection of enduring relevance. The beauty of these 4 lifelong dividend stocks is the way they navigate crises. When markets fall, many companies scramble, but the truly durable ones continue generating strong cash flows. They don't need to cut dividends because their revenue streams aren't dependent on short-lived trends. They are built on habits, necessities, and long-term contracts, and in times of uncertainty, those dividends become even more valuable. They provide psychological stability. They give you returns even when the market price fluctuates. They encourage patience because you're getting paid to stay invested. This is how disciplined investors outperform the impatient ones, by owning companies that deliver income regardless of the economic weather. Another important aspect is management philosophy. The companies you should never sell are led by executives who think long-term. They prioritize shareholder returns without sacrificing innovation. They reinvest strategically while maintaining strong balance sheets. Their histories show resilience not by accident but by design. When a company consistently raises dividends, it's demonstrating confidence in its future cash flows, and confidence is never accidental. It's earned through decades of operational excellence. What makes these stocks even more powerful is how they shift your financial strategy. Instead of relying solely on market timing or chasing momentum, your returns become grounded in consistency. Every quarter, cash flows into your portfolio. Every year, the payouts grow, and every decade, that compounding becomes exponential. The dividends you receive today can become multiple times larger in the future simply because you held on, reinvested, and let time do its work. This is the kind of wealth building that doesn't require prediction. It requires discipline. Holding these dividend stocks forever is ultimately a bet on human progress. It's a belief that the world continues to move forward, and that certain companies will remain at the center of that movement. With each innovation, each trend, each cycle, they adapt, they evolve, and they continue rewarding shareholders through unwavering dividend growth. These are not just stocks, they are long-term partners in your financial journey. And once you find them, you simply never let them go. Imagine a strategy for building wealth that doesn't rely on timing the market, chasing hype, or predicting which sectors will suddenly explode. Imagine a path that allows your money to grow quietly, steadily, and predictably, while the world around you moves through cycles of boom and bust. That is the essence of holding top dividend stocks forever. These are companies designed not just to survive, but to thrive across decades, to return profits consistently, and to compound wealth for investors who understand the power of patience. When you think about wealth that lasts a lifetime, it isn't about chasing short-term gains. It's about aligning with businesses that reward shareholders with reliability, sustainability, and growth. The real advantage of dividend stocks lies in the combination of income and compounding. Every dividend you receive can be reinvested to purchase additional shares, which in turn generate even more dividends in the future. Over time, this creates an exponential effect that is hard to replicate with other forms of investment. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about mindset. When you own companies that pay regular dividends, you stop reacting emotionally to market fluctuations. A falling stock price becomes an opportunity to acquire more shares at a discount, knowing that the dividend continues to flow. You shift from chasing returns to building enduring financial resilience. Choosing the right dividend stocks requires focus on companies with strong fundamentals, long histories of paying and growing dividends, and businesses that are indispensable in their industries. These are firms with reliable cash flow, disciplined management, and competitive advantages that withstand the pressures of competition and economic cycles. Think of sectors that are essential to human life and progress: consumer staples, healthcare, energy, utilities, and technology infrastructure. These are the industries that generate consistent demand, even in turbulent times, and the companies that dominate these sectors are the ones that can safely be held for decades. Another critical factor is dividend growth, not just the size of the yield. A modest dividend that grows steadily over time is far more powerful than a high yield dividend that is unsustainable. Companies that consistently raise their pay demonstrate confidence in their earnings power and operational stability. Each increase in dividends accelerates the compounding effect, transforming your income stream into a long-term engine for wealth creation. Over decades, this strategy can produce financial independence without requiring constant trading or speculative decisions. Holding dividend stocks forever is also about understanding resilience. True leaders in dividend growth navigate recessions, inflationary pressures, and market volatility without compromising their commitment to shareholders. They adapt to changing consumer behavior, embrace technological shifts, and strategically reinvest earnings while maintaining balance sheet strength. Their dividends are a reflection of operational excellence and long-term vision. Investors who recognize this don't see dividends merely as payments. They see them as proof of enduring business quality and as the foundation for wealth accumulation. The psychological advantage of dividend stocks cannot be overstated. Owning a portfolio of high-quality dividend payers transforms your relationship with investing. It reduces the anxiety of market fluctuations and instills a sense of long-term perspective. You start to think in decades, not days or weeks. Each dividend reinforces discipline and patience, turning passive ownership into an active wealth building process through reinvestment and compounding. The stock market becomes less about speculation and more about aligning with the underlying engines of global growth. Ultimately, building wealth for life with dividend stocks is a strategy that combines financial rigor with strategic foresight. It's about identifying companies that are not only stable today, but positioned to grow and reward shareholders for generations. It's about consistency, discipline, and a long-term mindset. By focusing on these top dividend stocks, reinvesting dividends, and letting time amplify their impact, investors create a powerful engine for wealth accumulation that endures through cycles, market disruptions, and the passage of decades. In the end, this is the kind of financial strategy that doesn't just chase wealth. It builds it quietly, steadily, and forever. Imagine a world where your money works for you continuously, quietly compounding while you focus on your life, your goals, and the bigger picture. That is the power of the best dividend stocks to buy now and keep forever. These are not speculative bets or short-term trades. They are companies built to endure, companies with strong fundamentals, consistent cash flows, and a demonstrated commitment to returning value to shareholders. Holding them forever is not a passive act. It's a deliberate strategy to harness the compounding of dividends, allowing income to grow steadily while market noise fades into the background. The first advantage of these dividend stocks is predictability. While stock prices fluctuate with market sentiment, the companies behind these dividends operate with a long-term perspective. They generate revenue from essential goods and services. They innovate without sacrificing stability, and they maintain balance sheets strong enough to navigate economic turbulence. Their dividends are more than payouts. They are signals of confidence, of disciplined management, and of business models capable of thriving for decades. When you reinvest those dividends, you unlock exponential growth, creating a snowball effect that transforms even modest yields into substantial wealth over time. Choosing which dividend stocks to buy and hold forever requires a focus on quality. Look for companies with a history of raising dividends consistently, with cash flows that exceed their obligations, and with leadership that prioritizes long-term shareholder value. These are companies operating in sectors with enduring demand: healthcare, consumer staples, utilities, energy, and technology infrastructure. Their products and services are deeply embedded in the fabric of daily life, meaning that even during recessions or market volatility, their revenues remain robust and their dividends reliable. These are not flash-in-the pan opportunities. They are the pillars upon which lifelong wealth can be built. Another critical factor is dividend growth. A stock that pays a modest dividend today but raises it steadily over time is far more powerful than a stock with a high, unsustainable yield. Each increase compounds the income stream, gradually building a foundation of wealth that is resilient to inflation and market uncertainty. This approach aligns perfectly with a long-term mindset. You are not chasing immediate gratification. You are constructing a financial engine that rewards patience, discipline, and strategic foresight. The resilience of these companies is key. The best dividend stocks navigate economic cycles with remarkable stability. They invest in innovation, embrace structural shifts in the economy, and maintain operational efficiency without sacrificing shareholder returns. Their dividends act as a buffer during market downturns, offering not only financial reward but psychological confidence. Investors holding these companies begin to think in decades rather than days, which transforms how they respond to market fluctuations. Each quarter's dividend reinforces the value of patience, turning income into a tool for compounding wealth. Holding these stocks forever also shifts your perspective on risk. Instead of chasing volatile gains, you focus on steady accumulation. Market corrections become opportunities to increase your stake in fundamentally strong companies. Dividends provide tangible returns regardless of price movements, making the act of holding stocks less about speculation and more about aligning with enduring business models. The combination of consistent income, reinvestment, and long-term horizon creates a compounding effect that is almost impossible to replicate through short-term trading or market timing. Ultimately, buying the best dividend stocks now and holding them forever is a strategy rooted in patience, discipline, and a deep understanding of what makes businesses durable. It's about identifying companies that will not only survive but thrive, consistently returning value to shareholders for decades. By reinvesting dividends, maintaining focus on long-term growth, and allowing time to magnify the effects of compounding, investors create a powerful engine for wealth accumulation. This is not just a strategy for income, it is a blueprint for building financial strength that endures through cycles, volatility, and the test of time, ensuring massive long-term income for those who commit to it.